ago, he would have told his sister about the crack in the wall. They would have investigated it together, worked up theories, laughed and bickered and created a shared story with the mysterious crack at its centre. That was how they had always been, like a child and its reflection, down to the last freckle. Things were different now. A distance had grown between them, and Edward was to blame. Pain flickered across Elisabella's face. Edward felt it too, but neither voiced it. Elisabella shrugged, then strutted off. Moments later, her bedroom door slammed. Flooded with a familiar sadness, Edward returned to the crack in the wall. "Now look what you've done," he said quietly. "She already hates me." Whispers chattered like crickets in long grass. "One at a time," said Edward. Remarkably, one voice did rise above the others. "It's your own fault," it said. Edward flinched, recoiling from the wall. His heart galloped. Gradually, he found the courage to lean forward again. "Who are you?" he asked. "Nobody," said the whisper. "Everybody is somebody," replied Edward. "I was somebody," said the voice. "Then I was trapped here, forced to live forever in the walls of Wreathenwold, never sleeping, never eating, unable to die, but unable to escape. That makes me nobody." "You don't sound like a nobody," said Edward. "You're very kind." "It must be terrible," whispered Edward. "Is there anything I can do?" "I knew you were a good boy, Edward," said the voice. "That's why I like being here, in your bedroom wall. There might be a way to get me out, but I wouldn't want you to put yourself in danger for an old nobody like me. No, better to leave me here." "I want to help," said Edward. "You would really do that for me?" said the whisper. "Why not?" "I couldn't possibly let you." A minute or two passed, in which Edward argued with the crack in the wall, until finally it was persuaded to accept his help. A tiny sob marked the end of the debate. "You're a good boy, Edward Cotton," said the voice. "Do you know of Alfred Wicker?" Edward did. Alfred Wicker was a children's author who wrote the Jemima Cleaves books. Jemima was a 12-year-old detective who solved magical mysteries with the help of her poppet doll, and the books were some of the most popular in Wreathenwold. Elisabella loved them. Edward once did too. It was another thing he and Elisabella used to share that now seemed lost. "Well, it was Alfred Wicker who put me here," said the voice. Edward was stunned. He asked why. "It saddens me to tell you this," said the crack in the wall, "but Alfred Wicker is the most miserable fraud. He stole every one of his plots for the Jemima Cleaves books from somebody else. And after he steals somebody's ideas, he throws that somebody inside the walls of Wreathenwold so they never expose him. From me, would you believe? He stole the ideas for Jemima Cleaves and the Circus of Hidden Souls and Jemima Cleaves and the Killer Effigy. Then he locked me in here so nobody would ever know." "But that's ridiculous," said Edward. "I knew you wouldn't believe it," said the crack in the wall, sounding morose. "Nobody would. That's what I said to the rogue as he bundled me into this wretched prison, but he didn't listen." It was a wild story, but Edward thought the voice in the wall sounded very honest. Why would it lie about a thing like this in any case? "How can I help?" he asked.